Greetings, YouTube. Last night when I was at work, the station in the caf I was sitting at was tuned to Fox News, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I have a pair of headphones that have a radio built in, so I didn't actually have to listen to much of it. Just the time it took me to walk into the room, sit down, and put on the headphones. But in that brief time, that 45 or 50 seconds it took me to get into the room and sat down, I heard at least 3 snippets of outrage from the conservatives in America about President Obama's immigration executive order. Now, the conservatives in America, the GOP and their allies in the Democratic Party and, of course, the Tea Party and Libertarians, had 6 years while Obama has been in office to do something about immigration. 6 years. And in those 6 years, they've done nothing. In fact, there is a vocal, small but vocal percentage of the GOP who has said categorically that they would oppose every single effort put forth by the Democratic Party or President Obama. They've used this in their campaigns, that they will oppose everything that is put forth by the Democrats. That their sole goal is to obstruct the function of Congress, while making empty gestures such as attempting to eradicate the Affordable Care Act. What is it, the count's up to 50 times now? Instead of passing legislation that could help America, trying to destroy a policy that's helping Americans right now in the real world. 50 times. At least 50 times. I could be off. But instead, their goal has been to do nothing and to prevent Congress from doing anything. So when the president says something has to be done, Congress refuses to do anything, he does it. Now, would I prefer Congress to have done something? Yes. Yes, I would. Would I prefer the executive order he issued to actually do more for the immigrants that have come here and have established themselves and are helping to pay the taxes in our nation? And yes, they are paying taxes, folks, because they buy things every day. I would prefer if they'd actually been given, instead of 2 years of non-deportation, it had been 5 into the next administration, as opposed to being just until the end of Obama's administration. But that's me, because I believe that these are human beings that should be treated with compassion, sympathy, and empathy. Now, do I prefer people coming here legally? Yes, I do. I prefer people to go through the process that has been established for immigration. Unfortunately, our immigration policy is horrible. There are 3 different agencies that run immigration in America. It is incredibly complex. It probably doesn't allow enough people in at the rate that needs to let them in. And let us never forget that these people who are here as undocumented workers are doing jobs that Americans flatly will not do. And if every undocumented worker in America were suddenly to stop doing their job, our economy would collapse. Our economy needs them to be compassionate, empathetic, and sympathetic. We need to be paying them a living wage. But then again, we need to be paying all Americans a living wage. Minimum wage is far, far too low. The current minimum wage is probably half, if not more, below what it should be. Remember, corporate America is getting a $21 value per hour from workers in America who are getting paid $7.25 per hour. That's a pretty good deal for corporate America, and it screws over the middle class and the poor. And before anyone comes forward and says, well, minimum wage people, they need to go get a better job, there aren't any. And it isn't just teens that work at minimum wage. 15% of people that are on minimum wage are teenagers. The other 85% are people who are adults trying to function and survive in the real world. So don't try that crap on me. But again, if Congress had done its job, we would have a better minimum wage. We would have a living wage for both American citizens and those who have come here as immigrants. And we would have a functioning immigration system. There would be far fewer undocumented workers. But again, the GOP has done everything in its power to stop Congress from functioning. The GOP and their allies have done more harm to America than any terrorist organization or any foreign enemy in war could ever dream of doing. And I will flatly state right now that the GOP is a terrorist organization. They are the enemy of America. But you're being partisan. No, I'm not. I'm calling it like it is. I did not cast them in this role. They have placed themselves in this role. Their actions, or in this case, inactions, have shown how they do not give a crap about anyone in America unless you are in the 1% or higher. What is it the Mitch McConnell was talking about, the 600 and something investors in the GOP that are really the ones he cares about? Because that's what it is. It's like 600 and something donators in America that are really the movers and shakers in our nation. And the rest of us, as far as the GOP are concerned, are nothing but serfs. Dupes to be used and to convince to vote for these people through hot button social issues. So do I wish that the immigration reform had been done through the channels of Congress? Yes. But I also think Obama should have gone further. I think he should have made sure that he lets the immigrants in America, undocumented and documented, know that uncategorically the Democrats have their back and the GOP doesn't. I want to make sure that every single person in America that's an immigrant votes Democrat forever. That understand where their loyalties lie, and it isn't with the GOP. No American should have a loyalty to the GOP because they are not your ally. They are your enemy.